All right, so after an hour of audio issues of really just unplugging and plugging back in the microphone, I think I'm good to go. So, I'm going to try to follow some bullet points, but I'm not going to strictly follow this script. And I'm going to try to keep the video to maybe 10 minutes, although I tend to be direct and to the point, so maybe it'll be a little less. Who knows? But I figured I'd give this a shot. And today I'm going to be talking about society. And society is such a strange concept to me. It's always has been. It's because... was that even English? I'm tied to a system supporting a bunch of people that I don't even know. That's fundamentally, I think, the problem with society is that it's a bunch of people I don't know. It's a bunch of people that I have no values in common with to, any degree, there's no, this is what we mean by culture. People often ask, what is culture? And culture is like a set of values that your society upholds. And we don't really have that. And I speak from America specifically, but most Western countries at this point really don't have much in the way of cultural values that they really uphold. They might have traditions. But they don't really have cultural values. Like in America, we have a tradition of we have to make explosive thing happen on Independence Day or whatever the fuck, right? Right, we have to shoot the fireworks, right? But that's not a cultural value necessarily. It's not a moral. It's not a guidance. We don't have that, and I find that to be very disappointing because it creates a festering, disgusting place to be in. The other thing about society is that the rules don't let you win. Western Decline had at least one stream recently where he talked about this, and it was fantastic because he brought about that, if depending on how you look depends on how the rules work for you, right? So if you're a pretty boy, we live in a society where Jeremy Meeks is allowed to exist. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. You nearly kill a kid and then you get to become a supermodel and you get to become rich. It's the rules don't fucking make any sense and the rules don't let you win. It really does come down to looks. Looks is everything. It's crazy to me how we don't, I don't know much about living in previous societies because I haven't been in them, right? But from my understanding of human history, work seemed to be way more important than looks up until very recently. And that bears through, I would say, through just demographic information, right? Because we only really seem to have demographic issues nowadays versus way back when. I mean, sure, other countries have probably had some dips and dots and everything like that, but the point is that because looks are so front and center and nothing else matters in general in society, not even just in dating I'm talking about in a societal context, it's so wild that it just supersedes all the rules. Because when I was growing up, as were many millennials, we were told, work hard, this and that, and work doesn't matter. The coal miner down underground does not get to fuck a Becky's pussy. Which is insane to me. That's insane to me. But Jeremy Meeks gets to slay a different pussy every single night if he wanted to. It doesn't make sense to me. And it's not something that I understand. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of a system that says, yeah, well, if you attempted to kill a kid, it's fine, whatever, you can be rich. It's I should be rich. I followed the rules, and the rules didn't let me win. And it's fascinating that society is something so great that you're forced to engage with it. You're not allowed to leave it. There is no, when you're born, you're put into the social security system and shit. You're not allowed to just say, I'm out. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Let me be. I mean, the closest you can get to that is probably being Amish. It's pretty much the closest you could get to that. But even the Amish still need to use money. And money is such a strange and frustrating concept to me as well. Most of the stuff that we do in terms of production, in terms of services, are so completely unnecessary and most of them are just about pampering women. I mean, women are 80% of consumer spending, right? And I'm pretty sure most consumer spending is garbage outside of like food, right? There's very, very few, in the grand scheme of things, there's very little media that is valuable, right? I mean, if you look at music, if you look at anything, really, video games, music, anything, any sort of Hollywood movies, very few of them carry any sort of meaningful weight to them. And most people who are engaging in those mediums, they are listening to the top of garbage, right? So, yeah. The other thing about society is that it's inefficient to the core. And what I mean by that is that there is like they say get a job. But in order to get a job, you have to go through all these hoops. Society should give you a job. Society should beg you to work. Beg you to. Because otherwise society doesn't exist. Society, one of the things that always upsets me is that we have this notion that some people believe that society owes you nothing. But you owe society something, apparently. Like, I owe society my tax dollars, but society doesn't owe me anything. Right? I pay for Becky's 10 kids to 5 different baby daddies, but I don't get to fuck Becky. It makes no sense to me. If I'm going to pay for it, then I get to use it. That's my motto. And if that's not the case, then I don't want to fucking pay for it, right? So, anyway, it's been about 7 minutes. I didn't write an extensive list of bullet points. I'm not even sure if people would necessarily enjoy listening to those rambles, but I figured I would give it a shot and see what people think. So let me know what you thought. It's been a while since I've done any sort of online recording and such, but I used to be more prevalent online. Nothing crazy, nothing popular, but I wanted to breach into this to sort of see where it goes again. I do tend to be pretty lazy with YouTube, so who knows how often I'll upload a video. But I do know that I need to be lazy about it, because if I actually try to put effort into like thumbnails and video editing, things like that, I have no interest in those things. So let me know what you thought.